Welcome back to the Week in Gaming, patreon.com/the Derrick Lamon Experience, or the Derrick Lamon Experience, the Derrick Lamon Show on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, all that good stuff. Hopefully everybody's doing good. So not too many big stories in gaming this week, but I still will always give you guys a show unless there's extenuating circumstances or anything like that. So let's just go ahead and get on into it. We do have more dates for our summer game season. The last one that we're now waiting on is to find out when the Nintendo Direct is. I think I'm patiently waiting on that one the most because I'm expecting that Ocarina of Time remake. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm just really, really waiting on that one. So that's the big one. But we do have the other dates, and we're going to go over that in just 1 second here. Generally, I would like to start the show with grain of salt, so we might as well just go ahead and start there. Apparently, aside from Ocarina of Time remake, there is something else going on in the land of Hyrule. Apparently, this comes from our friends over at Game Rant. Again, take this with a grain of salt until we get absolute confirmation. New open world Zelda game leaks, new gameplay, gimmick puzzles, and more. The rumor mill for future Legend of Zelda games is currently in full swing, with everything from a supposed Ocarina of Time remake to a Ganondorf spin-off reportedly in the works. But surprisingly, such details have somehow managed to bury what's arguably a bigger leak. The next mainline Legend of Zelda game, to be clear, should they prove true. The remake and spin-off are completely welcome, but we're talking the next main 3D game in line after Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. For the uninitiated, reliable leaker Nate the Hater stated that a full-blown remake of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 this holiday season, marking the big holiday game for the new console. Similarly, Nash Weedle, who was more of a hit or miss leaker, has suggested a new 2D Zelda game focused on Ganondorf is in the works, using the same engine and approach as Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Whether either of these leaks prove true remains to be seen, but there is a third that has flown under the radar to add to that pile. If they're going to make another game using that Echoes of Wisdom, Link's Awakening remake engine, it needs to be The Legend of Zelda: A Link's Awakening. I don't know how they don't see this. So, 1 second. Sorry, a little thirsty. I understand Echoes of Wisdom. And the reason I understand that is because the series is called The Legend of Zelda. As kids, I remember being in the second grade and playing Legend of Zelda with my friends, Stephen Heiss and Eric Melville. Shout out to those boys wherever they are. And we'd be like, yeah, let's go play Zelda. And they'd be like, oh man, you got to get the sword. You got to get the sword so Zelda can be hyped. It's not Zelda. We're playing as Link. The series is called The Legend of Zelda, but for years, 40 years, we've been playing The Legend of Zelda as a character named Link. In Echoes of Wisdom, we finally got to actually play as Zelda, right? But the story, truth be told, it's The Legend of Zelda, but it's more The Legend of Link. He's the hero of time, you know? So that made sense for Echoes of Wisdom to actually be a game where you get to play as Zelda. A game playing from Ganondorf's experience, I just don't like, you're the one Gerudo male born every 100 years. Like, does anybody really care? Truth be told, does anybody really, truly, deeply care? That's my question when it comes to playing as Ganondorf. And in my head, I'm thinking absolutely fucking not. Anyways, it goes on to say the next open world Zelda game may include dimension hopping gameplay. Special Nick, a known and generally reliable leaker, revealed new details regarding the next tentpole Legend of Zelda game during episode 294 of the Xbox Era podcast, around the minute and 22-second time mark. His claim should be taken with a grain of salt, but his track record grants him far more grace than other leaks. According to Nick, the next major mainline Zelda game will be another open world entry akin to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, set in the same world, built in the same engine with a few enhancements. I remember when Breath of the Wild came out, Colin Moriarty was like, it's not a Zelda game. There's no true dungeons, this, that, and the third. All you have is the shrines, and then you have the Divine Beast, and those are not true Zelda dungeons. He's like, I hope you guys liked it. It seems that everybody does. And he was like, get used to it because this is Zelda from here on out. They're not going to go back to another format. They're not going to go back to classic Zelda. Colin is often right. If we do get this third game in the series using this engine, I'm going to look right over at the good man, Colin Moriarty, and say it. Colin, you were right. And it seems like he may be right, if this is real. Anyway, whereas Breath of the Wild established the surface of Hyrule and Tears of the Kingdom went above and below, this new Zelda game is set to venture across 4 dimensions. It's unclear if it's one or multiple, but it sounds similar to the dimension hopping gameplay seen in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. For example, players are able to hop between dimensions through tears in reality that allow players to merge puzzles in different realms. One example given is luring a charging bull to a target in one dimension excuse me, to open a door in the player's dimension. Another is using water from one dimension to float items to the surface of a pool-like room in the player's dimension. Nick does finish off by saying he doesn't know the release date, but assumes that it's years away, with known reporter Jeff Grubb adding that it makes sense for the game to be 2 to 3 years away as of late 2025. In other words, somewhere between 27 and 29 makes sense for this game's specific development timeline. What's more, if Ocarina of Time Remake does drop in 2026 and the Ganondorf spinoff hits in 2027, that would fall in line here too. I don't think we're getting both. I think that the Ocarina of Time thing is potentially real. I just don't know if this Ganondorf game is real. That's my thoughts. I just don't see it. One second. That's a lot. Like, remember, this year is the Zelda 40th anniversary. They're talking years and years and years beyond. While, of course, we want another 3D Legend of Zelda game, I don't know if we need it that quick. That's all I'm saying. Again, Ocarina of Time remake. If everybody else is going to do a remake, why the fuck can Nintendo not? And also, if they're doing a Star Fox 64 remake, they remade Kirby Air Riders. They're doing all this stuff. Why not give us a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake? I tell you what. Games. If we're gonna just go start remaking games, how about Super Mario Brothers 3? How about Super Mario World? I think that there's a lot of stuff from the Mario universe that could stand to get, done in 3D or even a side scroller with upgraded graphics. I'm just not going to be mad at any of that stuff. So I'm all fucking for it, dude. I have no issues there. If they want to do that, by all means, go right the fuck ahead. I am all for it. So let's see. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book review. Don't judge this. Judge this by its cover. Yoshi gets Mario off his back with a breathlessly imaginative 2D platformer. A dinosaur's expedition through a magical anthropomorphic book powers along with the kind of breathless imagination typically associated with mainline Super Mario adventures, with new ideas and gameplay mechanics stretching across the margins of his pages until they run out of paper. It's a brilliant, creatively rich side scroller that will appeal to young children while simultaneously offering depth and nostalgia, if not much raw challenge to older players who remember Yoshi's solo debut on Super NES. As a member of the latter camp, Mysterious Book kept me grinning from ear to ear until well after its epilogue. As its name suggests, the game revolves around the titular Mysterious Book, an enchanted encyclopedia called Mr. E, whose magical pages are filled with fantastical creatures that the Yoshis must investigate by exploring their habitats and interacting with them in the only ways they know how: licking, stomping, and carrying. So this is from VGC, our good friends over there. This looks really good for a Yoshi side-scroller platform. It's nothing I'm going to check out immediately, but we'll see. Nintendo games don't really drop in value. I will tell you that right now. I don't know. It looks like, so let's see. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Mysterious Book powers along with the kind of breathless imagination typically associated with mainline Super Mario adventures, with new ideas and gameplay mechanics stretching across the margins of its pages. A brilliant, unique side scroller, one of the most unique Nintendo platformers in years. Every stage feels like a discovery, countless creatures with inventive mechanics, compelling for all players, young and old. And then it says, don't expect a technical challenge. So those are the pros, and then the one con. They gave it 5 stars. So kudos to the people over at Nintendo who worked on this game. You have 5 stars from the good folks over at videogamechronicles.com. In other news, I'm sorry, I'm trying to go through all this. I have a lot going on. So I was like, when should I record this? I'm like, I got to get it done because I have so much going on. And that does not mean I'm like trying to give you guys a terrible show or anything. By all means, that's not the case. And I apologize if it comes off that way. Not trying to rush through, but there's quite a few stories that I want to get to. So, and I'm very thirsty. Sorry about that. Xbox Game Pass titles for the rest of May have been revealed. Forza headlines the lineup and is available in the service today. So coming soon to Xbox Game Pass: Forza Horizon 6, Dead State Drive, Peppa Pig, Pigeon Simulator, Jesus Christ, Remnant, Winter Burrows, Luna Abyss, Escape Simulator, Echo Generation 2, The Outer Worlds, Crash Out Crew, Kabuto Park, Final Fantasy 6. Okay. If you guys have been primarily playing your games on the Xbox console and you've never played Final Fantasy 6, I recommend. A lot of people are clamoring for a Final Fantasy 9 and a Final Fantasy 6 remake. A lot of people, you don't have too many people mention Final Fantasy 8. There are some people who are definitely Final Fantasy 8 people, and then there are others who are just like, I don't need that game. I have no use for that game. And I'm not hating on Final Fantasy 8 by any means. I actually have it in my Xbox library. Final Fantasy 6, 7, 9, those are my favorite ones. And then 10 and 10 2. I actually need to jump back on Final Fantasy 6. I have the Pixel remaster, and I haven't played it in quite some time because, well, I'm doing this show and also making movies and being a dad. So there's that. So let's see. Remnant 2, cloud, console, and PC, May 30th. Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, PC Game Pass Winter Burrow, cloud, console, and PC, May 20th. Now with Game Pass Premium joining Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass, Luna Abyss, cloud, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, May 21st. Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass Escape Simulator, cloud, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, May 26th. Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, PC, and PC Game Pass Echo Generation 2, cloud, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, May 27th. Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition, cloud, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, May 27th. Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, PC Game Pass, and then Crash Out Crew, cloud, Xbox Series X and S, handheld, and PC, and that's May 28th. Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass Kabuto Park, cloud, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, May 28th, and that's in Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, and PC Game Pass. Final Fantasy VI, cloud, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, that's June the 2nd. Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, PC Game Pass. Jurassic World Evolution 3, cloud, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, June 2nd, and that is Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, and PC Game Pass. Now, again, last month, Microsoft announced it would drastically reduce the price of Game Pass Ultimate from $29.99 a month to $22.99 per month. So be on the lookout for those games, though. Speaking of prices, price changes in subscription services for consoles, since we're already there, we might as well talk about it. PlayStation Plus price increase starting May the 20th. Plus prices for new customers will increase in select regions. Due to ongoing market conditions, prices will start at $10.99 US dollars, €9.99, $7.99, I'm not sure what that is for 1 month subscriptions, and $27.99 US dollars, €27.99, $21.99 for 3 month subscriptions. And now that I think about it, I might as well just go ahead and do the goddamn 3 month and not have to worry about it. It makes all the sense in the world. It truly does. I don't know why I don't do it that way, as opposed to watching the $10 come out of my account every month. But a lot of people are complaining like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe PlayStation is doing this. I get it. I really do. I really do. And I'll get to how I feel in just a second. So anyway, again, Sony has announced price increases for its subscription service, PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus is Sony's monthly subscription service for PS4 and PS5 consoles that grants access to online multiplayer, monthly downloadable games, and exclusive PlayStation Store discounts. Starting May 20th, PlayStation Plus prices for new customers will increase in select regions, Sony said in its announcement, blaming ongoing market conditions. They're not wrong. Obviously, the market has changed, but at the same time, here's two things. Number one, it's $1. It's just $1, guys. And I know that sounds like I don't want that to come off elitist or anything like that. I want to be very, very upfront about that. And I'm not an elitist or anything. It's like $1. It's not going to be the first thing that you spend an extra dollar on. It's one of the few things you can't get it for $1. Let me stop right there. You can't get it for $1. But for the increase of $1, it's not really all that bad. It really isn't. But I get it. When you look around and the price of the console has gone up and everything else has gone up, you're like, God damn, how much more blood do Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo want from me? You can't get water from a stone, all that stuff. So anyway, Sony said it had yet to decide when to launch the PlayStation 6, nor how much it would cost as memory shortages fueled by the AI boom continue to hit hard. As you'd expect, PlayStation fans have reacted negatively to the news, with some saying PlayStation Plus shouldn't be required for online gaming in the first place, and that these new prices make gaming on PlayStation even costlier. Others have hit out at Sony, blaming the price rises on ongoing market conditions, pointing out Microsoft just cut the price of Xbox Game Pass. They're not wrong. Ben Videotech on Twitter, my guy, he's a huge Red Dead Redemption 2 fan, says blaming market conditions is insane. It should be free to play online games without paywalls in 2026. Let me tell you people one thing. I get where you're coming from, but it costs money to maintain those servers that you also preciously play online with. It does cost money, and there is going to be a nominal fee. I'm not going to be like, hey, go ahead and build a PC, because that's not exactly cost effective for everybody, especially, again, with the rising cost of memory for our computers. Nick Tech says, first you guys increase PS5 prices, and now you increase online subscription prices. What the hell? I hear you, brother. It's worth noting that PlayStation Plus price hike comes 6 months before the planned release of GTA 6, which is expected to draw a huge number of newcomers into the current generation of consoles. An active PlayStation Plus subscription is required to play GTA Online, and there's no suggestion that will change when GTA 6 comes out. It's not changing. They're not trying to. You can't put that genie back in the bottle. You just can't. So many of you people want to play GTA Online and Call of Duty and all this, that, and the third. And I get it, but at the same time, you want them to basically give you server access for free. It's just not exactly wise from a business standpoint. I'm sorry. As a consumer, I understand your point, but looking at it from the standpoint of a business, that their job is to make money doesn't make sense, guys. That giving you on like them paying to maintain the servers and letting you play on them for free makes no sense from a business standpoint. It just doesn't. Anyway, Sony has forecast annual sales at its gaming business down 6% to 4.2 trillion yen, approximately 28 billion for the current financial year due to lower hardware sales. With the PS5 now more expensive than ever and approaching its sixth birthday, however, Sony expects gaming profit to rise 30% due to higher first-party software sales and the absence of a huge impairment loss it recorded against struggling marathon developer Bungie. Insomniac's Wolverine game is due out this financial year, will surely make a significant contribution to PlayStation's performance. I think it will as well. I definitely think Wolverine will give PlayStation. You've got Wolverine, and then you've got Grand Theft Auto 6 right behind it. I think there's going to be an uptick um, in PlayStation 5. Even with the price going up, I still think that they're going to sell. I know a lot of people who bought a PlayStation 4 Pro when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. So I don't know. It's $1. That's all I'm saying. That's my thing. It's $1, guys. I think that we all kind of just need to calm down a little bit. Just calm down, calm down. The price change again does not apply to current subscribers except Turkey and India unless the existing subscription changes or lapses. Now, in other news, apparently PlayStation Network accounts are being targeted by hackers who can easily bypass two-factor authentication. Attackers only need a public PSN ID and a single piece of old transaction data to exploit Sony's support system and take full control of an account. So they haven't said anything about this. Interestingly enough, they announced the next state of play 2 whole weeks in advance, and we're going to get to that in a second. Right now, it's just not a good time to be somebody at PlayStation headquarters with the Blue Point closure, the subscription fee going up $1, and now apparently they're being hacked again. And everybody remembers the 2011 PlayStation hack. I believe it was 2011. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it when PlayStation Network was down for quite a while. It just sucks. It's like how much more bad PR can they have for this generation? Because they've had quite a bit. Shout out to Jim Ryan for burying the fucking PlayStation 5. But I just don't know. They have got to come out with banger after banger after banger. And people are like, well, it's bad business. And I'm like, I hear you. I totally hear you. The one thing I can tell you how you get people over shit like this, you release a fucking banger and people, that's going to be the conversation. That will be the conversation. Everybody's talking about, well, there's not really anything out to play. Everybody's going to forget about that when GTA 6 comes out. People are going to forget about that when Wolverine comes out. You're going to have these conversations like, yo, Insomniac fucking cooked again. Rockstar fucking cooked again. They're out of this fucking world. Those will be the conversations. Nobody's going to be talking about the $1 increase of PlayStation Plus. Now, again, they have increased the price of consoles and subscriptions since, since the rise, the AI rise and the tariffs on imported goods and all that stuff. It's like not just PlayStation. It's not a great time to be. I mean, it's always a great time to be a gamer, but financially, it can be a bit taxing, as it were, where we all are currently in the world. So I get people being upset 100%. I do. Gaming is coming. Well, it's never been a cheap hobby. Everybody's like, well, $70 for a game. I remember at the start of this generation, I'm like, I can't believe Sony did this when it wasn't Sony who did it. It was, third party publishers like EA and stuff like that and Ubisoft. They were the ones, 2K Games, 2K, Ubisoft or Ubisoft, depending on how you pronounce it. They were the ones who were like, yeah, we're going up to 70 fucking dollars. Everybody's like, it was PlayStation. It's like, no, that's not how it happened. Your third party publishers increased the price $10. And then PlayStation and Xbox decided to follow suit. Nintendo, there were times everybody's like, well, Nintendo shouldn't be that expensive. Super Nintendo games in the 90s, some of them were like $90. Tell you that right now. Tell you that right the fuck now. So the only difference is this time is that when those games were like $90 in the 90s, the console went down. The older it got, the price of the console went down. Now we're looking at potentially $80 games, and the price of the console has gone up twice in one generation when it should be going down. We're almost to 6 years on the PlayStation 5 consoles and the Xbox Series X and S consoles, and the price is going up on all the hardware. That's the real problem we need to be talking about. That is 100% the real problems. I don't know. In other news, Forza Horizon 6 is out. I know a lot of people are enjoying it. Very, very happy for you guys. My guy Okami 13, aka Kami on Twitter, has his Forza Horizon 6 review and impressions after 30 plus hours in the game world. I want to tell you right now, I've heard nothing but good things. Nothing but good things. But I wanted to save this to have it as part of the show. I didn't read the review, but I did talk to my little cousin. He says it's absolutely fucking amazing. And part of me is just like, get this game, hook back up your racing wheel. You got to do this. You know, you want to do this. You got to be in the, you have to play this game. That's going to happen. Anyway, bets Forza, Kami says, bets Forza Horizon game ever made. Very bold statement. Story is a big improvement. It actually feels like you're working your way up the ranks, which I've heard on some videos I've seen. Japan exceeded the hype. Best open world to date. More to do, more to find, and more to create. Audio and sound design was one of the biggest improvements. It's not just the engine audio, it's the directional audio, racing down tunnels. Sounds simply incredible. Where we at? I'm sorry. Sounds simply incredible, especially multiple cars beside you. Visual density has been greatly increased. Gone are the wide open deserts and fields. There are towns, villages, ports, mountains, forests, and much more. Massive improvement in this regard. Graphics are a moderate but noticeable improvement over Forza Horizon 5. From the trailers, they look similar, but in person, I can definitely see a difference. Lighting is probably the biggest upgrade, but the roads, foliage, and more also look notably better. The PC version has ray tracing reflections and ray tracing RTGI during gameplay, a transformative upgrade, but still looks great without it. I actually decided to turn it off for 4K to get a higher frame rate. No issues with the performance, gameplay, and overall feel of driving is more realistic but still fun. Each car feels distinct and handles differently. Massive open world with tons of single player content, and all was fun and seamless. There were really weren't any events I didn't enjoy because sometimes you can get burnt out on those Horizon Fest. It's like, hey, driver, come on up and da da. It's like, Doug. The one thing that I want from them, I'll tell you at the end of this review in just a second. We're gonna continue a wide range of customization and accessibility options that you can tweak to your liking. Over 550 cars to unlock. They don't throw them at you quite as fast as Forza Horizon 5, which is good. Each region has treasure cars where you're sent a photo and have to find the race car at that location. It's like the barnyard finds, but better. Those are still in the game too. Awesome. I love the barn finds. Each region now has mascots you can smash in addition to XP boards. Rewards include new cars, credits, customization options, and more. Biggest complaint is that NPC density still could be higher, especially in the Tokyo City area. I understand it's for performance reasons, but seeing sparsely populated streets. Where the heck are my glasses? I'm sorry. There they are. Sparsely, I'm sorry, the streets and sidewalks in the heart of Tokyo feels unrealistic and immersion breaking. I consider this a minor nitpick, though, not a huge deal. Now, loading times are faster across the board, fast travel menus, and loading into the game. Fast travel has been made completely free as long as you've been there once. Awesome. Soundtrack is actually solid, definitely better than Forza Horizon 5 and 4. Good amount of real world licensed songs and a dedicated J pop station. There's a lot more I can say about Forza Horizon 6, but long story short, it's fun. I did not want to put the game down during this review period. Playground has addressed nearly every point of feedback coming off Forza Horizon 4 and 5. The long awaited Japan setting exceeds expectations with a gorgeous open world packed with things to do and vistas to see. Tokyo City is massive and feels incredible to drive through, especially during those street races at night. The story actually feels like a real story as you work your way up from an unknown driver to a Horizon legend. If you're a Forza Horizon fan, this is a day one, no question. And the great thing about the series, you don't have to know a thing about cars to have a good time. Forza Horizon 6 makes that easy. Final score 9.5 out of 10, still in progress. He played for 25 hours and he is playing this on PC. So shout out to our guy Okami. I actually can't wait to get the game and jump into the world. I'm gonna have to manage my time because Legacy of the Dark Knight, I have that. It should be downloaded by now, and then I'm sorry. Excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself because I really want that Ocarina of Time remake, but 007 First Light, that should start downloading in a couple of days because we have that next week. So I'm very, very excited about that. The one thing that I want for Forza Horizon 6 is the ability to play, like, you can have Spotify or Apple Music downloaded to your console and play it that way. But then, like, I guess you can turn on captions or something like that. I want there to be integration, but I know that's not going to happen because then Microsoft has to make a deal with Spotify or Apple, and I can tell you who will not be making that deal. Microsoft and Apple just aren't doing it. They're just not. Like, there's still open wounds from their showdown where Steve Jobs felt like Bill Gates stole his idea. Windows was basically Apple's thing. I think they called it something different, but basically their idea was stolen. Yeah, you're not going to get those people to get on the same page. Just saying. Um, yeah, I'll play this and I'll just sign it to my Spotify account. Essentially, that's all I have to do. But it's like it's not a headache, but it's like, it's kind of a headache. I don't know. And then lastly, I didn't want to keep you guys too long, but we do have the event calendar. This is what I was talking about. We are at that point, and now we all know what's going on, and very, very excited about this. So I'm going to go over everything. I will be covering a lot with the Pause Menu Society crew. It's going to be a cross production, the Derrick Lamon experience in association with Pause Menu Society. So there's that. So here's what we have: May 20, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6-1 Indie Showcase featuring 60 indie games. June 2nd, State of Play, expect a deep dive on Wolverine updates, reveals, and more from top studios around the world. Now, I want to pause right here. This State of Play is going to be an hour to, I've seen an hour, but I've also seen up to 90 minutes. They are they've made a deal with Alamo Drafthouse where you can sign up to watch it at the theater. So a lot of people are saying this feels like an E3 presentation. This is something that's going to blow our socks off. I'm hoping that this is true. I'm hoping that for the first time since that 2021 September showcase, PlayStation blows the door off. And that when we saw the Wolverine teaser trailer, we saw the Spider-Man 2 teaser trailer, found about Knights of the Old Republic, which we still haven't seen yet, but we saw God of War Ragnarok was in there. There was some great stuff in there. So I hope that they're bringing that same kind of energy by the fact that they're hosting it for free at Alamo Drafthouse. Shout out to PlayStation. I hope you guys got a lot to show us. Friday, June 5th, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. So that's 4 Central. Summer Games Fest, world premieres, new announcements, and updates. June 6th, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. I'm sorry, 11 a.m. Eastern. 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. East. Wholesome Games Direct features cozy games, 50 titles and updates. June 6th, Story Rich Showcase for Story Rich Showcase focuses on narrative focused games, 26 games, reveals, and updates. June 6th, Future Game Show Showcase, world premieres, exclusive trailers, extended gameplay of Exodus. And then June 7th, Xbox Games Showcase world premieres, new announcements, and a deep dive direct of Gears of War E-Day, which I also can't wait to play. It's going to be a good year on the back half. That's going to be June 7th. Now, again, we still do not have the date for our good friends over at Big N, aka Nintendo, aka Team Red. But when we get that information in, we will pass it along to you guys. And again, we will be checking these out as a community. I want to talk a little bit about our Discord community. We want to add more people. We want to build a true community there so we can have conversations about gaming, about pop culture, all types of stuff. So again, cross-pollination, the Derrick Lamon experience, Pause Menu Society. We're producing on both ends. I'm the creative director over there. And I'm not ashamed to say that. That's what I do. This is what I do. So no big deal. But I'm really excited. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I feel like PlayStation has some hits coming, though. I really do feel that way. For a State of Play to be 90 minutes, and then also you're having it in locations that you can kind of, well, I think the tickets are free actually, but they were all gone really, really quickly. So I'm expecting something at least of good proportion. It's like this is gonna be the next God of War, that Faye God of War game. Apparently we'll see that. Maybe we'll see some intergalactic gameplay. I don't know. We're definitely getting a deep dive on Wolverine because that's the next big title coming from PlayStation. But I'm very excited about this. Yeah, it's about time. It's about time. It is about time. Where are we at? I thought somebody said that Sony had announced that there were no more PC ports. Let's see. It still shows 2 months ago. Oh, wait. Tech Radar has something. PC gamers say goodbye to PlayStation exclusives as Sony confirms single player games aren't coming to PC anymore, except for one. Let's see. PlayStation's presence on PC has gradually expanded over the years, with its exclusive single player games arriving on the platform a year or so after launch, but now that's coming to an end. As reported by VGC, PlayStation boss Herman Hulse has confirmed that single player PlayStation 5 exclusives won't be coming to PC anymore, according to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. This comes after its initial report in March, which is now corroborated via Hulse internal confirmation to staff. Very interesting. It should be more about this anyway. Most recent exclusives, Ghost of Yotei and Sorrows, were heavily rumored and expected to be ported to PC, particularly the former, following the footsteps of its predecessor, Ghost of Tsushima, which was released on PC 3 years after its console debut. 3 years is the sweet spot. Don't fuck up your console just to get another platform. I'm sorry. 3 years is the fucking sweet spot. That's how I feel anyway. No more single player PlayStation 5 games are coming to PC, according to a report. Sony clarifies ongoing PlayStation DRM issue, confirms digital games require a one-time online check to authenticate licenses. That's the last thing they were talking about. Unfortunately, again, that's not happening anymore, marking the end of an era when video PlayStation's blockbuster titles were available on Steam and Epic Games. One title, Ken the Scars of Cosmora, is still scheduled for launch on PC in 2026, and that's only because Ember Lab isn't a first-party PlayStation studio, but Sony is responsible as its publisher. Now, Bloomberg also stated that PlayStation believes PC reports risk damaging the console's brand and the sales of the PS5. They're not wrong. They're not. I don't care what you guys say. That can't be right. Yes, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. Bloomberg also stated that however, he feels as though Sony has taken 2 steps backwards as this hurts consumers more than it benefits them. Staggered release system that would see exclusives arrive on PC at least once a year later was good for consumers who were either exclusively on PC or owned a PS5 console, whilst also on PC with the freedom of playing at launch or patiently waiting for a better version in terms of graphics and performance. It's an understandable move from PlayStation in a financial aspect, especially since a continuation of PC releases would actually benefit Valve's upcoming Steam machine, which is poised to be a direct rival in the console space as a console like PC. And that's why you don't make that move, PlayStation. Like, you don't, if they want to reconcile, that's fine, but you can't go back. You can't. I think that if that PC window, the console to PC window was going to get closed, it was going to close more. It was going to close more. And again, people are going to be like, why do I need a PlayStation? Their game's going to PC. I don't need a PlayStation. I'll just build a PC. We were going to get to that point, and that's the thing people don't understand. So I understand this. I'm not mad at Sony for pulling back. The $1 increase in PlayStation Plus, all right, is that $1 going to make or break you? Probably not. So I don't know. But I'm not excusing them. Let me be very clear about that. There's some things with the brand that need to change, as well as Nintendo and as well as Xbox. So not excusing it. Anyway, that's all I've got. Again, we're at the point where most of the news that's going to come out here soon is going to come from our Summer Games showcases. So very, very happy about that. Fingers crossed we get the Nintendo Direct date, and then we do get Ocarina of Time. But, I'm sure they'll cook up something for us. Anyway, that's going to do it for yours truly. I'm going to end this like I end everything else. Believe in yourself first and foremost. Because if you don't believe in yourself, of course, nobody else will believe in you. As always, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson, and that is my time. Y'all have a good one. See you around.